Above all, do not lament my absence. For in my spark, I know that this is not the end.
Transformers Prime has such an amazing ending!
Yeah, shame robots in disguise ruins the ending a bit.
Oh, don't even get me started. What kind of idiot will undo that amazing ending by bringing Optimus Prime back from the dead? Well, at least they gave Cybertron a few years of peace before bringing him back. I mean, can you imagine doing that like a week after his death? That would be awkward.
But how would you make a sequel to TFP?
Well, my dear partner, I don't exactly know how. I mean, Transformers Prime was such a good story, and I think it wraps up the Align continuity really well. That everything after it kind of feels like DLC. Unnecessary. Well, if I had my way, I wouldn't continue the story.
Oh.
The story ended. But there is one thing left to do.
And what is that?
We go back. Back to the beginning. Hey guys, the Firebird is here. It's just me. My brother couldn't be here today because he's stuck in the Null Boy. That joke is completely appropriate because lately I've been binge watching a lot of like Ben 10 videos, so that came at a perfect timing, Chris. Hopefully Bilgax doesn't murk him. But yeah, these are the jokes. I hope you guys are enjoying them. Now, I am finally talking about Transformers Fracture. Now, in case you guys don't know what Transformers Fracture is and you have been living under a rock or that little skit at the beginning didn't give it away, Transformers Fracture is a brand new Transformers fan project that is going to sort of serve as a prequel to Transformers Prime. Well, not exactly like that, there's a bit more to it than that, but just like the Transformers Rise of Unicron project, whenever I see a fan project that legitimately impresses me and I think that it deserves more support like Transformers Crossfire, Rise of Unicron, and so on and so on, I think it's best to talk about it. And I know there's a lot of Transformers Prime fans out there, like the Transformers Prime fandom is still pretty strong despite the series ending a long time ago. And I myself would consider it to be one of those fans, because Transformers Prime to this is one of my favorite Transformers series of all time. I wouldn't say it's like my absolute favorite, like I don't know, I will probably put Beast Wars or even Animated over it, but like it depends on my current mood. But then I also have a soft spot for Savage. Anyways, we are getting off track. So Transformers Fracture is being produced by Byte E Byte on YouTube. There's more studio fans that are responsible for, you know, this little series we're talking about today. It's still in development, but we have plenty of screenshots, concept art, character models, which look very sex. So that's why I'm talking about it. But not only that, my dear viewer, because they're not only working in an animated series, which will be coming out very soon, but they're also working on a game. Just as a 2-for-1 deal, something that I haven't seen any other, fan project ever do. Typically, they do either a game, or a series, or a movie, never both at the same time, which is actually kind of shocking. Though the creator did clarify that the series itself is going to be a supplementary material to the game, which they're developing in partnership with Sector 7. And before you ask, the game will be Follow Cybertron style, which... Yes! But anyways, that's enough hyping up. Let's talk about this series. So Transformers Fracture, the series, is gonna come out on YouTube around February next year, 2026. They're gonna be releasing the pilot, and the pilot itself is slated to be around 3 to 5 minutes. Now keep in mind that this is just the pilot. The pilot is going to be used as a proof of concept type of video, just so you get a good idea how the final animations are going to look like, how the story is going to be, the characters involved, the movement, animation, the sound effects, all of that jazz. After the pilot is done, the rest of the series which is going to be made is going to be around 15 to 22 minutes, and it will be 10 episodes. Now, that seems like a lot, and I definitely do agree. It's not something to be taken lightly. One of the series I've been currently watching from a fellow Transformers fan creator will be Laszlo Ben's Transformers Arrival. Recently, they released a new episode, which was around 17 minutes long, and that took about like a year since the release of episode 2 to come out. With the results being pretty good, honestly. I would say it has some issues, but I'm hoping that Laszlo Ben can fix them up in the future. If you guys want me to talk about Transformers Arrival, I will, but today we're talking about Fracture. This is just me giving you an example. Projects like these take a long time to produce and are not easy. But I have to say, at least from what I've seen from Fracture so far, it looks like they have a pretty big team and they actually have some very talented animators. But what is this series gonna be about? Well, this series is gonna be sort of a prequel series to Transformers Prime, but not entirely a prequel to Transformers Prime. They're kind of doing their own thing, but they're taking a lot of inspiration and design cues from Transformers Prime. That's why a lot of the characters that you guys are seeing on the screen right now are very Transformers Prime themed. Transformers Fracture will be taking loose inspiration from Transformers Prime. A lot of the designs will be borrowed from it, taken from it. Some of the story ideas like Optimus Prime and Megatron's backstory, their friendship before, turning into enemies. All of that will be exploring the series, taking heavy inspiration from Transformers Prime, but they will be doing their own twist. So I guess you could sort of say that this will be like a spiritual prequel to Transformers Prime, more or less. But you know what? I don't think that really ruins anything, because if you really think about it, the line continuity is anything but a line. There are like all of these plot holes in between, project to project, like War for Cybertron and Transformers Prime, Robots in Disguise and Follow Cybertron, the novels and the comics, and the list goes on. So I really don't think this is that big of a deal. But one of the people working in the fan project, Sora, actually sent me some of the models they're going to be using for both the game and the series. And I gotta say, they look phenomenal. Orion Pax here looks great, just like how he was depicted in Transformers Prime. Love the way he looks. But Moby here doesn't look that different from his Earth counterpart. There are some small changes here and there, but for the most part, he looks pretty much the same. Oh my god, he has a mount. I almost forgot about that. Well, Bumblebee, I hope you enjoy it while it lasts. They're also going to be adding, brand new characters into this series, like Tarn, who, is a fan favorite. Here's the CGI model for him. I think it looks phenomenal. And we even have some concept art for other characters, like Leech Maximo here, which looks very different from how I envision him. It's not a bad design, it's just not what I picture, I kind of like his IDW appearance better, but this looks pretty cool. We also have some concept art here for Tarn, which depicts him, full body. I think this looks great. Very in keeping with the Transformers Prime style. We also have a Transformers Prime style Jazz, which, takes some design cues from, TFP Smokescreen, but I like some of the subtle changes they did to it, especially around the wheels. We got concept art here for Keon, which is going to be one of the DJD, and yes, the DJD is going to be appearing in this fan series. RC will also be appearing in this series, again looking a lot like she did in Transformers Prime. Megatron here looks phenomenal too, I have to say. Not any complaints here, they look exactly how they did from the show. Just the lighting is a bit, different. Here we have Shockwave's model, looks great. Some concept art here for Mirage, who looks very different from what I picture. Don't get me wrong, I'm okay with, certain series kind of changing the designs from G1 characters and stuff. This is one of those designs that looks a little too drastic of a change, but I don't have any problem with it. Have you seen TFP RC compared to G1 RC? They look almost nothing alike. I actually like this design. I like how he pays homage to G1 by having his head shaped, in the G1 style. It's very subtle, and I have to say I like this a bit more than I do Mirage's depiction in Rise of the Beast. Here we have some concept art for Sentinel Prime, of course heavily based off his Transformers 1 appearance. I think he looks great. I even see some Halo and some Elder Ring references thrown in there, which I actually genuinely do like. Here's Boss, another member of the DJD. Fans of IDW will probably be very familiar with this design. He looks really cool, he even has a cat. Look, I haven't read much of IDW, I don't know that much about the DJD. I know some bits, but I don't know this. Is there something that happens to the IDW? Let me know in the comments down below. These are pretty much about all the characters that they have released officially. They're working on more in the background, and those are going to be officially announced / released at some point in the future. Something I do want to talk about these designs is that I think they look great. I mean, the ones are straight up based on Transformers Prime look phenomenal. The models and subs look great. The new characters that were never in Transformers Prime, like Tarn and even Sentinel Prime, I think look fantastic. I really love the Sentinel Prime. He looks so imposing in a really good way. I genuinely do like this. And also, if you take a close look at the concept art, you can see that they are making various recolors of some of these characters. Jazz has them, Sentinel Prime has them, Boss has them, and I feel like there's gonna be skin recolors for the actual game whenever it comes out. And as for the game itself, it's gonna be style like Transformers Follow Cybertron, so I'm assuming a third-person shooter and all of that, with the ability to transform, multiplayer and all of that. The game itself, the portion of the game is being made in conjunction with Sector 7 Games. Now, Sector 7 Games, you guys should probably know about them. I kind of, did a couple of live streams talking about some of their games. They're responsible for TF Legends 2, Dark of the Moon, the game for Roblox, the Transformers Shoutout, and a few others. Sector 7 Studios usually make some very high quality games, so the fact that they're involved not only gives the team time to work and focus on the animation and the models without having to worry about an extra workload, but by bringing all their years of experience, they can also be very valuable when time comes to produce the game. But I actually really like this. We have one team focusing on the series, and we have another team focusing on the game. And since they share assets, whatever progress the animated team makes, it gets added to the game and vice versa. A lot of the environments and buildings that they're making for the series will eventually, my guess will be like playable stages when the game comes out. Typically when it comes to fan films, I always tell people to be very careful to spread yourself thin, but it looks like, at least for the Transformers Fracture team, it looks like they're dividing their focus in a very efficient way. Right now they're mainly focusing on the series before moving on to the games, so that's actually a very solid game plan. As of right now, the full cast for the series and the game itself as of right now is Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave, Knockout, Breakdown, Arachnid, Shockwave, Hardshell, Vortex, Onslaught, Boss, Tarn, and Kaon. And as for the Autobots, we got Orion Pax, Bumblebee, RC, Bulkhead, Wheeljack, Ratchet, Mirage, Jazz, Cliffjumper, Boo, Tailgate, Cub, and then labeled as a separate faction, we got Sentinel Prime, Leech Maximal, Halogen, Cosmos, and Alpha Trion. A lot of the plot of the series is still a mystery. We just know it's gonna serve as a telling of the Transformers story before they arrived on Earth, before the war erupted on Cybertron. Some of the animations that they have released so far, the fully rendered animations, look honestly very impressive for a fan film. Loki kinda reminds me a bit of Watcher Prime's animations. And I have said in the past that I would really love to see Watcher Prime do like an anthology series, animating various moments of the Transformers franchise, kind of like how he did for that Megatron vs. Soundwave animation in the Pits of Kaon. That was great, and it feels like Transformers Fracture is aiming to deliver just that, but in an actual series format. As for some of the more specific plot points of the series, I'll be honest, I still don't know. Still keeping some stuff on the wraps for, for future surprises. But if you look at some of the concept art, a bunch of these characters actually have Earth vehicle modes. So my guess is that at some point they might make it to Earth and we might get like some, Earth-based, stories, or even game modes for the official Transformers Fracture game. But I guess we'll see. I usually don't really do videos talking about certain fan projects unless I see that there's a lot of promise to them. Because, a lot of people always approach me and they're like, yo, Fire, can you talk about my game? Then I have to politely be like, can you show me some stuff so I have something at least to demonstrate, to see that there's a proof of concept here, something worth talking about. Because it was that case with Rise of Unicron. With Rise of Unicron, when I first saw what they were working on, the designs, the models, and everything, I was genuinely impressed, and I decided to make videos around it. And, obviously it paid off, because right now, I would say that Rise of Unicron is the best, most hyped fan project there is out there. And I see a lot of that, potentiality in Transformers Fracture. At least from what I've seen so far and from what Sora, shout out to him, has shared to me over on Discord. They have an official Discord server for Transformers Fracture. I'm gonna drop the link to it in the description down below, and I'm also gonna drop the link for their YouTube channel where they post some of their progress. I recommend giving it a like and a sub if you're interested, and if you guys wanna participate and help out, feel free to reach out to them. I'm sure they could use all the help they can get. Projects like these take a long time. Transformers Arrival, just one episode, 17 minutes long, takes like a whole year. And don't even get me started with Transformers Prime Galvatron's Revenge. But so far I see a lot of promise here. The voice acting looks great, the animation looks great. Some things could be worked on a tad bit more. I mean, Optimus Prime's leg here looks a little funky, in all honesty. But it has the look, it has the promise, and it has decent backing if they have the help of Sector 7 Games. And as I've seen, other people have been talking about it, like Bruce Ranger and a bunch of other YouTubers every here and there. So people are genuinely hyped up for this fan-made series. Unfortunately, I missed out on that because the announcement came out as soon as I was off in vacation. But yeah, guys, that is the story of Transformers Fracture. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on this series. Does it look promising to you? Do you like the idea of it being a series and a game? Would you be checking the pilot out? And what characters / things would you like to see as a part of it? Me personally, I would like to see more of the Wreckers. I mean, you have the DJD here, so I feel like having the Wreckers here will, be really cool. And I would like to see more, Elite Guard type of characters. Like, Smokescreen, Rodimus, Ultra Magnus, and a few others. I will definitely be checking out the pilot when it comes out. I can't exactly promise I'll make a video on it since it's only gonna be like 4 minutes long, but it's something that I will definitely be keeping on my radar and I will be checking out when the time comes. But for now, I feel like this series deserves the fire stamp of approval.
We will watch your career with great interest.
But yeah guys, that's pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you'll enjoy. I got tons of requests from people asking me to talk about Transformers Fracture and nicely wouldn't leave me the alone, but now I can finally rest until his next obsession kicks in. But as always guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Do that annoying YouTuber stuff the algorithm likes so much. And I will see you guys in the next video. Stay safe guys.